ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, dear friends. Hope you all are good. May Lord Shri Krishna bless us, bless all of us. May Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bless all of us. So we had read till 39th verse. Kul shaye pranashyanti kul dharma sanatanaha dharme nashta kulam krishnam adharmo abhibhavatyavtaha. With the destruction of dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligious practices. Arjunji is now giving various logical arguments to his friend Lord Shri Krishna, and somehow or other Arjunji want to convince Lord Shri Krishna to stop the war, or not to engage in that ghastly warfare. So in the next verse, another very beautiful verse, Arjunji is giving more reasons and arguments. So the 40th verse, another very wonderful and beautiful verse from Bhagavad Gita. Arjunji is saying, Adharma abhibhavat Krishna pradushyanti kulastriyah istrishu dushtashu vashneya jayate varnashankaraha. Wonderful verse. Adharma abhibhavat Krishna pradushyanti kulastriyah istrishu dushtashu vashneya jayate varnashankaraha. Strishu dushtashu vashneya jayate varnashankaraha. Dharma abhibhavat Krishna. Adharmaha, irreligion, abhibhavat, having been prominent. Krishna, O Krishna, pradushyanti, becomes polluted. Kulastriyaha, family ladies. Strishu, of the womanhood. Dushtashu, being so polluted. Vashneya, O descendant of Vrishni. Jayate, it so becomes Varnashankaraha, unwanted progeny. Varnashankaraha, unwanted progeny. When irreligion is prominent in the family, O Krishna, the women of the family become corrupt, and from the degradation of womanhood, O descendant of Vrishni, comes unwanted progeny. So Arjunji is Vrishni, descendant of Vrishni, Vashneya. He is addressing Lord Shri Krishna as Vashneya, descendant of Vrishni dynasty. And he is talking about, Arjunji here, he is talking about Varnashankaraha, a concept from the Vedic literature. Unwanted progeny, unwanted population. So in the purport, Swami Srila Prabhupada writes, good population in the human society is the basic principle for peace, prosperity and spiritual progress in life. Very true. Good population in the human society is the basic principle for peace, prosperity and spiritual progress in life. The Varnashrama religions principles were so designed that the good population would prevail in the society for general spiritual progress of the state and community. Varnashrama was so designed. Such population depends on the chastity and the faithfulness of its womanhood. As children are very prone to mislead, women are similarly very prone to degradation. Therefore, both children and women require protection by the elder members of the family. By being engaged in various religious practices, women will not be misled into adultery. According to Chanakya Pandit, women are generally not very intelligent and therefore not trustworthy. So the different family traditions of religious activities should always engage them, and thus their chasticity and devotion will give birth to a good population eligible for participating in the Varnashrama system. On the failure of such Varnashrama dharma, naturally the woman becomes free to act and mix with men, and thus adultery is indulged in at the risk of unwanted population. Irresponsible men also provoke adultery in the society, and thus unwanted children flood the human race at the risk of war and pestilence. So, very, very exalted and wonderful Vedic concepts. Arjunji here he is, narrating to Lord Shri Krishna. When irreligion is prominent, adharma bhivavat Krishna pradushyanti kulastriya, the women of the family become corrupt. And from the degradation of the womanhood or descendant of Vrishni comes unwanted population, unwanted progeny. So, wonderful verse, because all the leaders, all the responsible men of the world, they have assembled there. It is said 64 crores in number. Kshatriyas, soldiers, fighters were killed in the war of Mahabharata. So from all over the world, all the responsible men, they're all responsible, and they have assembled for fighting because they think it is a dharma yuddha. So they have assembled there in Kurukshetra to fight, and most of them will be killed in this ghastly warfare. So Arjunji is very much afraid of the future. He is fearing. What he is fearing, that in the absence of, when irreligion is prominent in the family of Krishna, the women of the family become corrupt. So in the absence of responsible men of various families, all the rulers, kings, fathers, brothers, husbands, sons and grandsons, responsible fathers, responsible husbands, responsible brothers, then who will take care of the women? Brahmanas, women, children, cows, and old people, because they are the weaker section in the society. Even Brahmanas, because they are always engaged, the Brahmanical class, they are not very stout from their bodily configuration, because they are always engaged in the worship of the Supreme Lord, in reading the Vedic literature, scriptures of Brahmanas. Women, Kshatriya, Brahmana, women, children, and cows, and old people, they always need protection from the Kshatriyas, administrators, government, and responsible men of the family. They always need protection. Swami Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, children are very prone to be misled. And similarly, women are also very prone to degradation, because women always need support, mental support, emotional support of responsible men, either father, husband, brothers, or sons or grandsons. Women always need women's mental state is like that. And men, predominator and predominated, Swami Srila Prabhupada. Men's mental state is that they give protection, they give support. They are made like that by the Supreme Lord, men and women. One is predominator and one is predominated. So women always need support of somebody, some men, mental support, emotional support. And when all the responsible elders, fathers, grandfathers, husbands, brothers, sons and grandsons, when they will be killed in the war, who will give them? Who will give? Arjunji is very much fearing. Who will give women such mental and emotional support, and who will take care of them? And in the absence of such protectors, the women, there is a possibility that women may try to approach, or irresponsible men will approach these women, taking benefit of the situation, and they may mix together, and such irresponsible men later, they do not take responsibility of the women or the children produced because of such mixing, and thus it leads to unwanted progeny. Those children will not be proper, they will lack proper upbringing, proper education, culture, and as such, there are chances that most of them will also become irresponsible in the society. So Arjunji is fearing, because good population in the human society, Swami Srila Prabhupada writes, the basic principle of peace, prosperity and spiritual progress in life. Good population in the human society is the basic principle for peace, prosperity and spiritual progress in life. So if irresponsible men, Swami Srila Prabhupada writes, irresponsible men also provoke adultery in the society. Because irresponsible men do not see women as respectable, they see women as a source of sense gratification. Irresponsible men, they see women as a source to satisfy, one's demands of one's senses, sense gratification. And when they engage in sense gratification with women, and women out of their innocent nature, sometimes they are fooled, they are cheated by these irresponsible men who promises to take care of them in the future, but later they do not keep to their own words. So such irresponsible class of men, they do not take care of the children, the progeny, which comes because of such mixing, such union, and it leads to unwanted population in the society, and it disturbs the unwanted population and the uncultured, uneducated, and children in the mode of passion and ignorance. When they become youth, then out of their ignorance and passion. The world is risk of war and pestilence, such things. There are chances of such dangerous situation which can be caused because of such unwanted population, Varna Shankara. So, very, very important verse. Such population depends on the chasticity and the faithfulness. And in the olden days, there were some skaras. There was Garbhadhan Sanskar, Swami Srila Prabhupada explains, and we get the information from Srimad Bhagavatam and other scriptures, which are totally, these sanskaras are totally, the society, the Varna Ashrama religion's principles. Varna Ashrama Dharma is not very prominent in Kali Yuga, but in the olden age, and such population, they do not participate in Varnashram system. And slowly these traditions are vanquished from the society. Slowly these traditions are vanquished. So in the olden age, before giving birth, a husband and a wife, before uniting, they used to perform a ritual, Vedic ritual. They used to consult family priest and exalted brahmanas, and they used to perform Garbhadhana Sanskara. And children were produced with that mentality. Husband and wife, when they putra hinam graha shunyam, it is also said. Without children, the family is like shunyam. There is no happiness. So husband and wife, they used to unite to give birth to good children, and they take responsibility of the upbringing, proper upbringing, giving good culture, good education to the children. And such educated and good children, they were responsible for peace, prosperity and spiritual progress in life. So it comes in the Srimad Bhagavatam and other Vedic literature how the Asuras were born. If children are born with if they are not if husband and wife, they do not unite as per the injunctions of the scriptures, or with an intention to produce children, if they unite only for sense gratification and without following the injunctions of the scriptures, then it leads to there comes the story how Asuras were born when their mother, she united with the great sage at a wrong time, which was meant for worship and cultivation of spiritual devotional service. So untimely and improper union, and if husband and wife, or if men and women, they unite for the purpose of sense gratification, then it is said Lord Shiva, who is Bhutanath, each and every living entity belong to are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. And then a husband and wife, they get a child, or husband and wife are responsible for developing the body of a child, but the actual soul Bij Pradapita, Lord Sri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, he is the seed giving father, and Krishna's Lord Shiva, who is in charge of this material world, who gives material, who is in charge of material nature, he is also known as Bhutanatha. So there are various fallen souls who don't have bodies. So out of compassion for them, Lord Shiva, those souls being blessed by Lord Shiva, they take birth in because of such union. Those very, very fallen souls, they take birth because of an improper union. They take birth because of an improper union of husband wife in the family, and because of their past sinful nature, and their instinct and their addiction to the modes of ignorance and passion, these such population, they become responsible for disturbing the peace and prosperity and spiritual progress of the society. So that was the science, even the reproduction or giving birth, that was the science. If one wants a good soul, if one wants as their son or daughter, then they should follow the Vedic injunctions. If a husband and wife, or if some men and women, they want, it is said, Devaki ji and Vasudev, they did austerities for thousands of years, 12,000 of years, celestial years. They engaged in devotional service of the Supreme Lord as per the instructions of the scriptures and as per the direction of their spiritual authorities, and then they were able to get the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, as their son. So in the previous from the scriptures and from Srimad Bhagavatam, we get the understanding, husband and wife, before before they decide to for reproduction, before giving birth to a child, they first engage in various spiritual practices, rituals recommended in the scriptures, so that they get a good soul, a soul in the mode of goodness, or an exalted soul as their son or daughter. So such things are mentioned in the scriptures, but in the Kali Yuga, all such information is not available, or is available to very few people in this world, and most of the population, they are unaware, because the spiritual education and culture are getting lost slowly and slowly. Gradually it is getting lost in the society. So such education and such information is not available to the general populace, and most of the people, the children are produced because of sense gratification. And as such, they are mentioned as unwanted progeny. Because of the adultery, the women, brahmanas, cows, old people and children, everyone, Everyone should be respected in the society. And special respect, women were always given a special respect. It is said that when women are the places where women are given proper respect, the demigods they automatically they become satisfied, they become pleased, and they bestow people with all good fortune. So women and Swami Srila Prabhupada, that's why he made a culture in ISKCON, and as said by Chanakya Pandit also, Matravat Pardhareshu, a learned person sees, an educated, a learned, a realized, a spiritually advanced soul always sees other women, the women of Pardhareshu, except one's wife. One give respect to every other woman as mother. That was the Vedic culture. And everyone was trained in the Brahmacharya ashram, in the Gurukulas. They were trained, they used to go. All the students, everybody in their childhood, in the Gurukul, the Guru asked them to go and beg alms from each house. And they go and beg alms. Everyone was trained in such a way, and they beg alms by addressing the women as mothers. Mataji, please give. So that way one develops, that was the culture. The culture was imparted in the educational institutions, gurukuls. And one develops, one learns. By education and culture, one develops a habit. One learns how to respect women, and of course brahmanas and cows, old people and children in the society. So it is very, very important, and in the absence, so Arjunji is very much fearing in this war, all the important, responsible men will be killed, and most of them are Kshatriyas who are responsible to take care of the society, who are responsible to take care of the brahmanas, women. Then in the absence of these men, these responsible men, irresponsible men in the society, they may take benefit of the situation, and they may try to pollute, and there are chances that women also get polluted. Trishu Dushtashu Vashneya, Arjunji is describing to Lord Shri Krishna, there are chances, and it may lead to. Therefore, both children and women require protection by the elder members of the family by being engaged in various religious practices. So religious practices will stop in the family, and then women may become free to act and mix with the men, and thus adultery is indulged in at the risk of unwanted population. And such adultery in the society, unwanted children flood because of such adultery, unwanted children flood the human race at the risk of war and pestilence. So wonderful verse. Adharma abhibhavat Krishna pradusyanti kulastriyaha strishu dushtashu varshneya jayate varnashankaraha. Varnashankaraha. So next verse, another verse, one more verse we will take. Again, so the 41st, another very beautiful verse. Arjunji is still, he is continuing, he is describing. Shankaro narakaiva kulgnanam kulasya cha. Shankaro narakaiva kulgnanan kulasya cha patanti pitaro येषां पिण्डोदकक्रियः पिण्डोदकक्रियः शङ्करो नरकैव कुलघ्नानां कुलस्य च पतन्ति पितरो हि येषां लुप्तपिण्डोदकक्रियः. Another wonderful verse. Arjunji is describing Shankaro narkaiva kulghananam kulasya cha patanti pitaro hi yesham luptapindodaka kriyaha. Shankaraha, such unwanted children, narakaya, for hellish life, eva, certainly, kulghananam, of those who are killers of the family, kulasya, of the family, cha, also, patanti, fall down, pitaraha, forefathers, he, certainly, esham, of them, lupta, stopped, pindaha, offerings, udakaha, water, kriyaha, performance. When there is increase of unwanted population, so Varna Shankara, Shankaro Narkaiva, when there is increase of unwanted population, a hellish situation is created, both for the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. In such corrupt families, there is no offering of oblations of food and water to the ancestors. So along with women, children, now Arjunji is caring for the ancestors, and he is saying, when there is increase of unwanted population, Shankaro narkaiva kulghananam kulasya cha patanti pitaro hi yesham luptapindodaka kriyaha. When there is an increase of unwanted population, a hellish situation is created, both for the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. In such corrupt families, there is no offering of oblations of food and water to the ancestors. So, wonderful verse. Swami Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, according to rules and regulations of fruitive activities, there is a need to offer periodical food and water to forefathers of the family. This offering is performed by worship of Vishnu, because eating the remnants of food offered to Vishnu can deliver one from all kinds of sinful actions. Sometimes the forefathers may be suffering from various types of sinful reactions, and sometimes some of them cannot even acquire a good gross material body and are forced to remain in subtle bodies as ghosts